Man, have I missed you today. I haven't missed you today. I got so much of you.
You do.
Did you ever think when we were like on the elementary school bus way back when that we would be like quarantine partners?
No,
I mean, imagine.
I never thought any of this would happen.
Imagine having a snapshot to your life when you get into your half-century mark.
I know. You know, I had somebody text me Facebook memories just from last year. It was Bill Bakken, and last year exactly at this time, he was out here fishing with us, catching a shark and doing all this stuff with his family. Who'd have thought that 1 year later he'd be quarantined at home?
Yeah, I know. It's coming up. I mean, a lot. To think about where we're at now. So come ride the sunset with Fishmonster and Island Jane. Now, we've been working on the Hatteras all day. The valances that you put on, or the one valance you put on.
Oh my goodness, I had to take out all the staples. That's the one bad thing about upholstery is they staple it like all the way across, so my fingers are really sore.
Yeah, well, you know what it is the boat's so old. I mean, how many times do you think the actual valance has been redone in the galley?
They just kept going over it and going over it and going over it.
There had to be, I bet there was 300-400 staples in just that 1 6-foot board.
Yeah, you know, I really probably should have just...
Should have made a new one. Why didn't you say, hey, why don't you cut me a new one?
Well, because you've been so busy, and I thought, well, you know, I'm just going to tear it all off. And the first one came off okay. Well, it took a long time, but it came off okay. But this one, that side of the boat, the starboard side, it must have gotten more sun because everything is just...
Well, it was melting. Remember when we first got in the Hatteras, you know, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And it was literally melting inside. Had air conditioning in it for 8 years. Hadn't been washed in 8 years. The termites were the only ones that were scrubbing the wall.
Do you see our sandbar?
Yeah.
Or lack of?
You know, it's high tide. We've got a full moon coming up. And that full moon is bringing in some higher tides. And it should be close to a spring tide coming up. I think we're going to have some hill tides. How about all of you? What have you been doing today? Maureen Monk, it's good to see you. Maureen Monk, if you remember, probably about 2 months ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, Maureen was in really, really tough shape, and she's coming out of it. She was, I remember the last picture I saw of her in the hospital bed. I believe she had a respirator on, but it was pretty frightening for her and her family. Maureen Monk is back with us. Look for her name in the news feed. One of the things that we have here is quite a list of people that are recovering, working through health issues. Maureen's a survivor. Congratulations, Maureen, in this sunset. There you go. The prize. That's the prize. David, good to see you. Neil, I'm glad you're here. David, welcome aboard the Looking Glass. Robert Carpenter, good to see you. Rob Moore, I'm glad you're here. Amanda Spacek, my dear Amanda, she's here. Amanda's joining us. I'm sure that Dan's right there with her, and hopefully your family is doing fine. Heather and the crew. And Tony. What about Tony? I love Tony. He's a good guy, Amanda. She picked a good one. Jared and Deb Warner, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Scott Lambert. You know, that's somebody I miss. I don't know what happened. I mean, Scott Lambert's like one of the coolest guys on the planet. I wish he lived closer. He's always talked about living down here, but he too is struggling. Again, he's trying. Yeah, keep trying, brother. I really miss seeing Scott Lambert. Chris Casey as well. He's supposed to be here right now. You know, Chris and Joe.
Yeah.
The family's supposed to be here. You talk about insult to injury. Chris, do you see that earlier post where I went ahead and took screenshots of every day this week from Windfinder? And this week is going to be the best week of the year, probably one of the best weeks since last August. It's going to be called somewhat of a doldrum, and the doldrums mean variable winds, maybe up to 5 to 10 knots max. It's going to be like this and better. This was the roughest day, if you can believe it. This is the roughest day. This is the roughest conditions for the week.
Yeah.
How are you and I going to get anything done with weather like that?
I know.
Ted Warner is with us. I'm glad you're here, Ted. Welcome aboard the Looking Glass. Again, we're going to roll out the Stock Island channel, the channel that comes in front of Robbie's Marina and past Stock Island Marina Village, ends at Safe Harbor, and of course the lobster yards, the trap yards that are at the end as well, the diesel plant. And maybe many of you remember the building that was over at Oceanside Marina at one time. It's gone now, and it is, of course, Ocean's Edge. But from here, you could see the sign that says Oceanside Marina. But we're just on the other side of that. The split, the fork, we're to the left, and then Ocean's Edge and the old Oceanside is to the right. And then a little bit further, you got Boca Chica Channel and the Stock Island Yacht Club, which is on Boca Chica Channel, formerly known as the Yacht Clubs of Americas, Key West Harbor Yacht Club. There's a lot of different names we called it, but now we can be sure because we have locals that own it, finally, and it is going to be Stock Island Yacht Club, probably for the rest of eternity. We're hoping. Now I'm getting calls, I'm getting texts, I got a few today, people aching to come down and go fishing. We are a non-essential business, and we can only take the boats out with our family members or whoever we're with on the stay-at-home orders. There's no way we can take anybody on our boats. Sadly, we'd love to, but the way things are shaking out, we're still in misery. I know a lot of you around the country are hurting and pretty frightened about what's going on outside your doors, but there's a lot of things that have changed. One of those was this face covering. I really do believe that that's going to end up being a huge game changer when we finally start to live with this, because I don't think we're going to completely get rid of it. I think it's going to be with us for a while from what all the professionals are saying. But being able to cover your face and maybe get on with your lives, change your hand washing to a new and keeping clean, and you don't get to sit there and stroke your beard any longer. You beard strokers out there are going to be dinosaurs. Don't touch that beard. Well, you know what's going to be crazy? You know how everybody's... You know what's going to happen? I just have a prediction. Check this out. You know, check it out. I am going to be the one that predicted this to happen. Remember all these beards are showing up? Remember everybody's got these big hairy beards. I mean, Casey Taylor, Jordan Lambert, Eric Dodds, and Nikki Collins. If he could grow a beard yet, he'd do it. How much do you want to put on this bet with me right now that the beards are going to be a thing of the past because of this new culture that we're going to have? I can probably put about a 97.3% guarantee on it. I mean, think about it. I mean, seriously. Those beards, man, I don't know how many times I've told Eric to get the donut out of his beard.
Do you think they're germ catchers?
I think so. I think so.
I think you're gonna offend some people by saying
Well, I don't know. It's just the world we're living now. But can you imagine a clean-shaven millennial?
Wow. Imagine that.
Yeah. How much you want? How much you want? What do you want to bet? Let's bet something. Come on, let's bet something. Let's walk the dog for a week. I'll walk the dog for a week if I'm wrong. I've got 6 months to prove my case. 6 months. 1 week I'll walk the dog myself. I'll do it all. I can give it a bath.
Oh, well, there you go. Give it that.
All right, so what are you going to give me if all of a sudden you start seeing clean-shaven people because of what's happening?
What do you want?
Well, you got to give me some. You never say what you want. You always let somebody tell you first, and then you up it. Yeah.
Well,
what will you do
if I lose?
if you lose the bet about the beards coming off the faces of the millennials because of what we're dealing with?
Yeah.
What are you going to do for me for a week? I'm going to walk the dog for a week myself.
Okay. I'll cook for you.
You always cook for me anyway. I mean, most of the time, like 70% of the time. That's not even close to good. I mean, yeah. Or how about
I'll do your laundry.
You do my laundry. That's not it either. Come on.
I'll buy your groceries.
No. See, this is not right because you're
I'm wiped out. That's all I got.
All right. Well, I guess I'll walk the dog anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lose.
Okay then.
The faces, you can hear them now, all the Norelcos coming out. In fact, we're going to have a run on Norelcos. Everybody's going to be looking for some sort of a shaver or a razor, and they're all going to be gone. They're going to all be disappeared because all the guys are cutting their faces all the time. Then you're going to get these grooms that you watch. They'll do something creative. They're going to start doing things on their faces that we're not used to. Donna, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Bruce Sleeper, nice to see you, brother. And that chance meeting you had with some of our dear friends, I think it was Cheryl and Joe Moore, the newlyweds that were down and they got married on the Floridays. I think that's who you saw up at a bar someplace when we were able to go to them. Good to see you, Bruce. I'm glad you're here. Paul Lilliger, good to see you. Great pictures of Colorado. My gosh, you make me want to go. You really do. You're hard on me, man. I tell you, those are some beautiful pictures, things you're seeing. Pretty special stuff coming out of Paul and Christy there in Colorado. Eric, Pike. Wait a minute. July? Your 50th birthday? And you want to go to the Dry Tortugas? We can do that, brother. I do believe by July we'll be able to have the presence of your unbelievably hilarious persona on the premium time and heading west 62 miles, and then hopefully we don't have a generator issue so I have to wake you up in the middle of the night. Eric would love to do it. July is an outstanding time to go to the Dry Tortugas. So I got a call from Tony in Texas, who is actually a text, and that text from Tony was really quite a nice thing to see. He says, look, he says, I'm going to come down in May. That's my plan. I do believe we'll be able to do something in May, whether I drive, whether I fly. I want to come down in May, and I'm hoping, we're hoping sometime in May we can get rolling again, but a lot of people are asking if we're taking pre-bookings, and oh yeah, we are. We're hoping to get back to work again. Covering your faces, keeping clean, not touching your face, social distancing. There's a lot of things a lot of tools we're going to be given so we can move on and move forward and have our lives back. So we're thinking, cross finger. We've got no confirmation. Nobody's saying anything down here. But what I'm feeling is like May, we can possibly start letting loose the horsepower on our vessels and get out there, get offshore and go fishing, run the Looking Glass, run the Floridays. We're hoping. That's what it's feeling like right now. So hopefully, if you're thinking of coming, it's going to be soon. Because we need you, actually. It'd be nice to see y'all. Wow, that's kind of nice, isn't it? Pretty. I love my Yanmar, but when it's quiet, it's nice.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of a funny color tonight, isn't it? It's kind of like, I don't know, maybe dust in the air or something, don't you think?
What did you just call that?
I don't know. It's kind of purpley.
Did you say Tuscany?
No, dust. Like,
oh, dust from Africa.
Kind of like dusty or.
I thought you said it looked kind of Tuscany. Wow, that's pretty cool. I could see that. Should have stayed with it. I was more impressed than I am now.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. It's pretty though.
Yeah, it is. But we shut the horsepower down. The Yanmar goes quiet, and then it gets really nice out here. Probably about what, 78 degrees? I'd say.
Yeah.
What's your watch say?
81.
I was wrong. 78 degrees was wrong. It's 81 degrees. And it's pretty desolate out here. I've got a center console flying past me. And some of the charter captains have gone out with their families and their quarantine partners, their stay-at-home partners. And they've found some really, really cool stuff offshore. In the backcountry, we've seen lots of bonefish. That was something, a nice little surprise that's happening. A little early. But when it gets up in the 80s, that's when the bonefish will start showing up on the flats, as well as the tarpon are starting to stream in. Pretty magnificent to see the spawn still, like regular life still happening, at least underwater. Clint Carlson, it's good to see you. I appreciate you sending me information and cool stuff. A lot of you spend time and you see things and then you send them through messaging. You give us the links and everything else, and we can't have eyes everywhere. But we do have like minds. So a lot of the things that you see and then you send to us through messaging, fits right into what we are and who we are. Because Fishmonster's not me. Island Jane's not Deanne. We are all Fishmonster and Island Jane. All of us. We are truly of the like mind. That thing's about to hurt my eyes. I think I'm going to get my welding mask on. Todd Vaughn, good to see you. I'm glad you're here, brother. Welcome aboard the Looking Glass.
Todd's got a charter with us.
Todd has a charter with us.
Charter, he needs to call.
He needs to call. Yeah. Coming up, doesn't he?
Yeah, because he's not going on it.
Yeah, sorry, Todd. Yeah. We're going to try to keep it all positive tonight, bro. Sorry to break your heart. Is it here in April?
Yeah, it's like this coming week.
Oh, Todd.
He's gonna want to
Come here, let me hold you, bro. I'm sorry, man. Nothing I can do about it. Todd, yeah, Todd just, he's got sad faces everywhere now. Nice one. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes you are my dream, but you're also my dream crusher.
Well, I just want to make sure I talk to him, that's all.
Well, you just did, and everybody else got the sad sack too. Everybody got a quiver lip because of Deanne's great news? Nice job up there. That's what I'm going is 28 feet away from you. Wayne Justice, yes, I want to see you soon. Wayne, come please, as soon as you can. Miss Mary, you as well. Yeah, Todd, I know, brother. I was looking forward to serving you, man. I really was. Charles Morgan Jr., thank you for your support, by the way. I actually packaged your face savers with my own two hands. And if I sent too many or too little, sorry, brother. It's my first day on the job. Miss Kay, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Robert, you as well. Sandy Wilson, my dear Sandy. Good to see you. Maria Izzo. Welcome to the waning sun. It is red. It's so red. Good to see you, Paul. Paula Shore. Nice to have you with us tonight. Chris Gallagher, my brother Chris. I hope you're doing fine, man. Good to see you, Miss Beth. I'm glad you're here. Wanda, welcome aboard. This is the Looking Glass. It's sunset. You know, you're right about that. Red sky at night, sailor's delight. Have you heard that one? Or red sky in morn, sailor be warned. And as far as the face savers, I know a lot of you are asking us, they blew out almost within an hour to 2 hours. I think it was close to 300. Well, we had sent out a few, and again, if you were with us this week, we had some indication it was happening with Michelle Blackburn. She's loaded her whole entire crew up, and we were surprised to see it. And it started to ramp up to the Saturday, yesterday, and then they were gone within an hour or two. Now we're hoping to get another shipment in. We don't know. You know, everything's kind of backed up. But we'll find out tomorrow when we'll have more in, and we're going to keep more of those in stock because we do believe that our faces throughout the USA, in Florida Keys and Key West, will be covered for the near future. And somebody said something, and it was a little strong. I mean, it was a little strong. Going out of the house without a face cover is not suicide. This is a little bit strong. I don't think I'd put it this way. But they said it's homicide. So I guess what it's saying is when you're covering your face, we, on my side, believe it shows you care. Whether it be with a bandana, a mask, whatever you can get, cover it up. We just happen to have those face savers ready, and we filled a need. But it's something to think about. You know, you may be, of course, helping yourself, but more than anything else, you'll be helping everybody else. In case you're a carrier, you might be one of the ones that it doesn't affect, but it still hangs on to you. And think about it. I mean, imagine infecting somebody else. So it was gone just like that. The red sunset. Turn my running lights on. I'm late. There we go. I'm safe now. I have my running lights on. It's fired up. Let's make our way in with the looking glass. 28 feet of Key West built Spencer. Built right downtown, just off of Palm Avenue Bridge. If you remember this when you're coming in, I'll give you a little idea. Many of you run the Palm Avenue Bridge. It goes past Charter Boat Row. And when you look to the left, you've got Garrison Bight Marina, Thai Island, which is up above, the sushi restaurant, Thai restaurant above. But to the right, if you remember, probably the oldest working boat lift ever, I think it's got to be 3,000 years old. I think it's back from, I don't know, the colonial era. Or maybe, well, 3,000 is a long time. That's maybe the, I don't know, the Dark Ages, whatever it was. But it's been a long time. It's been a long time. And it's an old boat lift, and it's got some small buildings, and it's got the sailing prams next to it. That is Spencer's Boatyard, and that's where this boat was built. One of the reasons we have the looking glass is because of the historic nature of it. And I explained earlier why these were built. These actually were used for certain operations. We hear it's all, you know, it's all rumor. But back in the days of the 70s, when people came up with the term square grouper, these boats were part of that operation. Mainly because they're easy to sink, I think. Unless you have 4 bilge pumps like this one does. But there's no positive flotation in this boat. It fills with water, it's just going down. It's just how it is. The old boats didn't have a lot of flotation. And this one, even though it was built in 2004, it's got a little bit of wood, but that's about it. So we're going to ride our way in, make ourselves under power, and increase it to under turbo, and shoot the gap. Let's ride. Thanks to all of you for joining us on the Looking Glass out of Stock Island. Check back, facebook.com/Fishmonster Magazine.